Rockers, what's up? It's Pete Thorn. Welcome to my studio. Hey, this is another review that I'm doing in conjunction with Guitar World magazine. This is all about Amplitube 5. Now, Amplitube, of course, IK Multimedia. They've made, well, we're on version 5, so they've obviously made 5 versions of Amplitube. It's been around for a long time now. I think the last one that I really delved into deep was Amplitube 3. And it's made some leaps and bounds, some great advancements. It was always really cool software, but they've got some really cool new stuff going, some cool new features, as well as a ton of just a plethora, a smorgasbord, a flotilla of amps, cabs, effects, and stuff to pick from in this new version. That track at the beginning of the video, I used Amplitube 5 as a plugin within Logic, but you can also use it standalone, so I want to show you that. So let's get to it. Here we go. I've opened up a standalone instance of the plugin here. There's some really cool features about the standalone version. Number one, there is actually a built-in phrase trainer and 8-track recorder. So let's say you're jamming along practicing and you get an idea. Well, you can lay down the idea right within Amplitube. You don't have to use your DAW of choice. You can use this built-in 8-track recorder, simple 3-band EQ on every track. And it's just really easy to use, and I think it's really cool that they've included this. Now, as far as using it as a phrase trainer, there's some great features. I loaded up a Van Halen track here, and I can easily loop sections and show you that I can slow things down. You know, if you want to learn those hard licks that you've never been able to get under your fingers. Pretty cool. You can slow those licks down, and then you can really hear every note really clearly. So I've got it slowed down to about, I don't know, maybe, down to 70% or something like that right now. You can go all the way down to half speed. Oh, I had the pitch shift on as well now. I'll bring it back up to the regular pitch. So you can hear it shifted up a half step there. So that's a cool thing too. Like, let's say your guitar is in E and you're trying to learn a track that's in E flat. Well, you can simply just bump the track up, and that makes it easier. So some great features with this phrase trainer and recorder. I'm finding it really cool. I love phrase trainers. I hate using iTunes and stuff like that to learn songs. I like loading a track into a phrase trainer and being able to loop sections, slow things down, and really hone in on parts. So this is great that they've got this included. Okay, so let's take a look at the plugin now as far as the tones go and how you make tones and string effects together and stuff like that. This down here on the bottom of the screen, obviously this is your chain of effects and amplifiers, cabinets, and all that kind of good stuff. And then the way that you select different effects and amps and cabs, this selector over here on the right side of the screen. So let's start with pedals here. I mean, there's just a plethora of different effects pedals in here, a huge range that comes in Amplitube 5. So let's say that I want to try something like an octave pedal in front of this Soldano amp I've got up here. You grab the pedal and you just pull it down here over into the chain, and it'll drop it down there into a virtual pedal board. And if you're like, no, I don't want to try that, you can drop it back over here and it takes it back out of the chain. So you're just assembling the whole rig in a line from left to right here, basically. You can do some cool things too, like if you want to maybe do this, add a second amplifier. I just clicked right here. Now you can do 2 amps and 2 cabs, and then it sums them together at the end. If you want to put a Supro with a Marshall or something and mic them both up and add a little room sound to both, you've got all these options. I mean, it's endless. I've got a cabinet here. I don't know why I had a tweed cabinet up with the Soldano head. That's not your usual choice, but that is something that you can do if you want to mix and match weird amps and cabs that wouldn't normally go together. Check this out. I can easily grab mics and move them around on the virtual cabinet here. That's really simple to do, back and forth, anywhere kind of within space. And you've also got a pair of room mics here, and you can bring those in closer or further out and get wider room sounds or tighter room sounds. So obviously kind of 3 different microphone setups here. You got mic number 1, mic number 2, and then your stereo room mics, and you can mix those together at any level and pan them. Pretty cool. You can also select even different types of room microphones and different type of room environments. So you got smaller rooms, more live rooms, bigger rooms. There's even a subway here. I used that actually on one of the parts in the song at the beginning of the video. I'll show you that in a bit. So it's pretty cool. I mean, as far as miking and room sounds, just once again, a plethora of options in there. Now there's also an IR loader, so that's pretty cool. I can go up here and go to this IR button right here, push on that, and now I can load in some IRs. I've only got a few in there that I tried out. IR loader works perfect. I loaded in some Celestion IRs and some York ones, and they sound great in here. It's a terrific IR loader with some unique features. It gives you a graphic representation here on the screen of kind of the frequency response of the IR you've got loaded in. And then if you want to, you can do this tilt thing. This is really cool. I've never seen this in an IR loader, where you can emphasize the high end of the IR or the low end of the IR by clicking or moving this tilt control. And then there's also a high pass filter and a low pass filter that are going to allow you to cut the lows out of your IRs, cut the highs out of your IRs, and warm them up a little bit. So that's really cool, I think. I didn't even mention how many amps there are in here. I mean, the range of amplifiers that you can pick from, it's outstanding. There's just a ton of different amps in here. Everything from, you know, even a Rockman you can select, you know, if you want to go for that type of Tom Schultz 80s thing, all the way to the AC30s to, you know, Orange amps, Fender style amps, Mesa amps. It's just kind of endless. So there's a huge selection for you to pick from. So now you can also insert some studio processors at the end of the effect chain. So let's say maybe you want like a compressor or an EQ. Here's some EQs here. I can take this and drop it down right here at the end of the chain, and I've got something that resembles kind of like, looks like Neve Brit style EQ here at the end of the chain. If I want nice compression, you know, there's a whole range of dynamics processors in here as well. Where are they? There they are right there. So here's like a, you know, obviously a 2A style, tube style compressor I can drop in there. And then there's reverbs, delays, you know, rack style effects, all kinds of stuff like that as well. So this brings me to an important point, I think. IK Multimedia, they've got a lot of experience making studio style effects and plugins as well. They've got their whole T-Rax range and, you know, even like mastering style processors and stuff. So I assume they've incorporated a lot of that knowledge into this plugin. If you can only afford like one plugin and you want to do, you know, some recordings and, you know, you need effects for vocals and you need effects for keyboards, you need effects for drums, you are kind of covered, I think, in Amplitube 5. You know, think of it outside of the box. It's not just guitar and bass sounds is what I'm saying. If you want to drop an instance of Amplitube 5 on a track and use it to EQ and compress a vocal and have none of the amp simulation or cab sims or any of that stuff on, you can do that. And the compression and the EQ and stuff all seems to sound damn good. So it's like, I think you're going to end up with good results if you do this. So long story short, I think that, you know, be it guitars, bass, the obvious stuff, but as well drums, vocals, like anything you need to affect or EQ or compress, I think Amplitube 5's kind of got you covered. All right, let's get on to some of those tones from the track at the beginning of the video. I'm going to show you a bunch of those different guitar and bass sounds I got, and there'll be some details on the screen about each sound. Thanks for watching my video on Amplitube 5. Just a really impressive collection of guitar, amp sims, cab sims, effects, everything under the sun. It's kind of amazing what they're doing these days, right? I mean, you could make a full album using nothing but this plugin, I think, and it would sound really quite impressive. Plus, you got the built-in 8-track recorder, phrase trainer. I checked out the IK website as well, and they've got bundles with interfaces as well. So, of course, they make recording interfaces as well. So if you want to get Amplitube 5 with an interface, if that's something that you don't have yet, they've got options for you there. You can click on the link down in the video description below, and it'll take you to all the information about Amplitube 5, as well as all the other great stuff that IK Multimedia makes. Thanks again to my pals at Guitar World Magazine for hooking me up with this review. I really enjoyed doing it. Lots of videos coming from myself and Guitar World real soon. All you rockers, stay safe out there. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Please come back and see me for more videos real soon. I am Pete Thorn. Take care. Over and out.